Case summary. Case name: Routledge v. Grant. Year: 1828. Court of Common Pleas. Citation: 1828, 4 Bing 653, 130 R 920. Background facts. Claimant: Routledge. Defendant: Grant. Facts of the case: Routledge, the claimant, was interested in purchasing a house from Grant. The defendant, Grant, offered to sell the house for a certain price and gave Routledge 6 weeks to decide whether to accept the offer. Routledge initially considered the offer but did not provide an immediate response. Before the 6 weeks had elapsed, Grant withdrew the offer, deciding not to sell the house. Routledge attempted to accept the offer within the original 6-week period, but Grant refused to proceed with the sale, having already withdrawn his offer. Argument in the court case. Claimant's argument: Routledge argued that Grant's offer was binding for the 6-week period as initially promised. He claimed that since he accepted the offer within the 6-week time frame, Grant was legally obligated to complete the sale of the house. Defendant's argument: Grant contended that he had the right to withdraw the offer at any time before it was accepted. He argued that the offer was not a binding contract until accepted, and thus he was within his rights to revoke it prior to Routledge's acceptance. Final outcome and legal justification. Final outcome: the court ruled in favor of the defendant, Grant. It was held that an offer can be withdrawn at any time before it is accepted, even if the offeror has promised to keep the offer open for a specific period, unless there is a binding agreement to keep the offer open, such as an option contract supported by consideration. Legal justification: the court's decision rested on the principle that an offer is not binding until it is accepted. The promise to keep the offer open for a certain period does not constitute a binding contract unless it is supported by consideration. In this case, Routledge did not provide any consideration to Grant for the promise to keep the offer open for 6 weeks. Therefore, Grant was entitled to revoke the offer at any point before acceptance. The court distinguished between a mere promise and a binding contract. The promise by Grant to keep the offer open for 6 weeks was seen as a mere gratuitous promise and not legally enforceable due to the lack of consideration. Key concept implication of the court case. The key implication of Routledge v. Grant is that an offer can be revoked at any time before it is accepted, even if the offeror has promised to keep it open for a certain period, unless there is a separate binding agreement to keep the offer open supported by consideration. Key learnings: an offer is not legally binding until it is accepted. A promise to keep an offer open is not enforceable unless supported by consideration. The concept of consideration is crucial in determining the enforceability of promises. Understanding the distinction between a mere promise and a binding contract is essential in contract law.